We all love SCUM and how the developers are able to intertwine their developer prowess with their meme-like jokes on social media. But something has happened that isn't a joke. In fact, it has split the community from what I can tell. They have joined up with Jagex. Jagex, and I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, is a UK video game developer and publisher that currently aims to support the successful full-scale launch of SCUM. The games they have worked on in the past include RuneScape, Space Punks, Melvor Idol, and more. All that sounds fine, but then I decided to check the comments on the tweet and the video and also the Facebook page to see what the community's reaction to this news really is, because this is huge. As we can see, the community, like I said before, is split. Many people are bringing up worries with microtransactions, how poor Jagex is with handling cherished games and the player base, and some prophesying even the doom of the game itself, saying it's time to uninstall. Lead developer Tomislav even posted saying that great things are to come, but the only response, whether truly a joke or a half joke, was that of him adding gold to the game. Some are even worried about cosmetic microtransactions because of the Danny Trejo skin that came out, but honestly, I don't really care about that personally. The cosmetic skins, whether they be weapon skins or character skins themselves, do nothing to change or affect the gameplay itself or give any player a certain advantage, so they can do that all they want. The issue with Jagex or whatever and microtransactions is not unfounded. Many are claiming that RuneScape was ruined because of them adding paywall after paywall. The game was divided into old school RuneScape and the newer version because of this. The microtransaction system in RuneScape even allowed a player to spend $62,000 on services in-game. And honestly, players can buy whatever they want in my book. It's their money, not mine. And if you feel wise to spend that much money on the game, then as much as it pains me personally to think about it, go for it. My main concern with these purchases was the fact that they weren't cosmetic only. In fact, they released armor sets and skill promotions which obviously and directly affect the gameplay and the environment of RuneScape. The idea that a person can use real-world currency to push themselves to endgame is a greedy practice that benefits the publisher and developer and harms the community who simply want to enjoy the journey. I am not one to ignore history. I'm not one to ignore past experiences of persons or corporations, and this situation right here is of no exception just because I cherish SCUM and the developers so much. And so I'm really left with the question, based on Jagex's history, is this what we can expect in the future of SCUM? The only real honest answer I think anyone can give is maybe. It is a possibility. Look who the publisher is. But it's also an equal, perhaps even greater possibility that it's not. Maybe this is just nothing. Maybe there's no concern whatsoever. Maybe because Jagex is now owned by somebody else, that maybe now it won't be that much of an issue. They were owned by a Chinese company for a certain period of time, I'm not sure, but maybe that had some influences, right? And of course, we can trust Tomislav and the others to keep their vision true for what they think SCUM should be, and no publisher will or should ever change that. It's fine the way it is. It's perfect. It's the story they want to tell. RuneScape, however, was out for 11 years before the first microtransaction entered the game. So I'm not thinking purely immediate, right? 50-yard line kind of thoughts. I'm thinking future, 5, 10, 300-yard line type of thoughts. What's SCUM going to look like in 5 years, in 10 years, if they decide to keep this publisher? But it's those kinds of questions that are raising concerns in my mind. That's what I fear. Something else that I would like to point out is that Jagex is not autonomous. Like I just mentioned, they have their own owners. They were owned by a Chinese corporation. Now they are owned by the Carlyle Group, which is one of the world's largest and most diversified global investment firms. They will, quote, support Jagex as it continues to drive growth by evolving the core RuneScape franchise through investment in R&D and increased content release rates, end quote. Which leads me to my next point, that Jagex of this year has created their own, or is creating their own, MMO survival game set in the RuneScape universe. This should set off some alarms. I think for at least, maybe, once again, maybe it's nothing. Maybe us laymen down here just don't know the details, which is more than plausible. Absolutely, I give that credit. However, if they are still producing this RuneScape MMO survival game, why would they fund another MMO survival game? Are they really invested in trying to help SCUM succeed? The fact that they are the same genre of game alone makes them competitive with each other, at least to a degree. Is it possible that Jagex plans on using SCUM as a money pot that they can simply siphon and funnel money from the player base to fund their own MMO and discard SCUM at a later date when the player base has had its share of microtransactions? I don't think that's very far-fetched. The game SCUM takes place in a dystopian universe ran by greedy corporations itself, so how ironic would this be? I can already see the comments saying now that I'm fear-mongering for views, but I think those people only say those things because what I say does scare them. They don't want to think that their favorite game and favorite developers could allow, knowingly or unknowingly, the world they have created to be torn to shreds in such. This video is both a plea of caution to the developers and a shout of warning to the community. My only hope is that Jagex gives financial backing with no game-altering microtransactions and allows gamepires to continue telling their story with no restrictions. All that being said, these are my thoughts of the current development in gamepires news. I want to know your thoughts. Do you guys have answers to some of my questions? Do you fear some of the same things, or did I miss a whole different perspective of this that you guys have? I don't know everything. I want to get a more fuller, broader, overarching understanding of this topic. So please leave a comment with your insights and your opinions and your perspectives. I will read them and I want to know. And all that to be said, Path out.